Now, a Hutch's weather update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
Hello, everybody. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson with a quick look at a storm moving right over the Bemidji area right now, moving over Highway 71, heading toward Lake Bemidji. If you're in this area, gusty wind and some straight line winds that could be damaging, but hail a threat as well, mainly on the north side of town, north on 71, north of Highway 2, not far from Turtle River, and heading right over the north shores of the big lake right now. Here's a look at the latest radar image. This storm's moving southeast. It's moving at about 30 miles per hour, heading in the general direction of Cass Lake. Now, this storm does have this little cutout right here, and there is some very, very weak evidence of spin in the higher levels of the cloud. A storm also forming not far from Bagley, just points south there, moving off to the east. So again, the Bemidji area likely seeing darkening skies. What are you noticing as this storm makes its way in? Again, seek shelter, that interior room, staying away from windows as it works its way in. And again, there's going to be some thunder, some lightning, some dark looking clouds working their way through. And again, it's going to be heading into the northern reaches of the area as it looks like right now. Now, looking downstream from this, where is this storm heading? Well, the hail core of the storm is just now entering the northwestern shores of Lake Bemidji, moving to the south and east, and it's moving at that clip of about 33 miles per hour. We'll put it into these following communities. Lavinia in about 3 to 4 minutes. So really, it's going to impact the Lavinia area, northern portions of Bemidji, and then heading down south, once again, hugging or getting closer to the Highway 2 corridor in the upcoming 1 hour. So if you're in Bemidji, the storm is generally going to be over the north shores of the lake. Hillcrest Manor is showing up here on the north side of town. We've also got the Lake Bemidji right there that you can see, Secluded Acres and Birchmont. All of these communities are likely where we're going to see the heaviest hail potential from the storms. Now, we take a look at the velocity with this cell, looking for a change in wind speeds across the area as we look over the scans from the Doppler radar in the Mayville area. And again, some of these storms are so far away, it's very difficult to see, how far out we're looking because it's looking higher up in the cloud tops here. So we do have a change in wind speed as we go across this area right where we're seeing the storm entering the Lake Bemidji area. Not the classic signature, by the way, of what we would typically expect to see, but some of these storms have produced, even over the Red Lake area, some storms that produce funnel clouds tonight. So we'll let you know that. That has not been the main threat, though. We have had some history of some very, very large hail. And while we're waiting for that, again, I'm looking for your questions. Thanks for chiming in. We had hail and heavy rain in Bemidji. Clarine, thank you very much for your report. Nathan, good to see you on board as well. We'll share a couple of photos with you that folks have sent to me. I got to tell you, some of these storms tonight were very colorful indeed. Here's Leonard, Minnesota. Grace sharing this. You see that? Grace capturing this on the run out there. Just another reason to love storms in Minnesota. And some are not loving them. But Grace, thank you so very, very much for sharing your bright and beautiful picture there. Quite bold as well. Now, this was in Warroad earlier today as the storms initiated there. See that little snaky rope looking thing there? Kathy said as the storms worked their way in toward Warroad that was spinning and it never did make its way down to the ground, but it certainly has that funnel shape. Notice there's blue sky right above this cloud. This is a very shallow cloud, so it's not the typical type of huge tornado, but a little bit of a rope funnel showing up over the area of Warroad. And Kathy shared just a couple of photos of that as it worked its way across the very popular part near the Marvin area, it looks like, in Warroad. Again, thank you, Kathy, for sharing your photo with Hutch's Weather. Another look from Grace in the Leonard area of what Well, what was witnessed there on the nightly run? What a beautiful, beautiful, colorful sky there. And again, the hail was ridiculous across the area. Here's a look at the close-up of that funnel shape as it was working its way over the War Road area earlier this evening. From Thief River Falls, do you see the towering pancake out there? Yep, that's not a flapjack. That is a cumulonimbus cloud. Some of those storms, as they move through the Thief River area, were towering at 55,000 feet tall. You can see those for over 100 miles away. That's facing east at around or just before sunset after the huge storms to the north. Look at this hail monster. Corey, thanks for sharing near the Goodrich area. Reported to be 12 miles southeast of Goodrich in River Valley. Oh, what a huge stone. Almost 3 inches in diameter across the largest portion. Thanks to all of you for sharing all of your odd hail shapes and sizes here, Sean, in the Goodrich area. This is the largest one of 1 1/4 inch reported there. So thanks to all of you for taking the time to share your photos with Hutch. Hail in Bemidji, thunder and rain, Rita says right now. We'll go right back to this and let you know that the heaviest of the hail, the largest hailstones, are shown to be north, on the northern half of Lake Bemidji, if you can envision that. We turn the radar back over, and we'll stay with you folks up there in Clarine and Rita in the Bemidji area to let you know what's going on. This will be heading toward the Cass Lake area here shortly. But if you can see Norway Park on this, oops, I better turn it over the radar here so you can see what I'm seeing. Norway Park, Bemidji, hail reported in Bemidji, thunder and rain. But when you look up towards Lavinia and Hillcrest Manor, that area of town there on the north side, that's more likely where the larger hailstone potential was as that storm worked its way through. Unbelievable looks at the area tonight from all of your photos that you've been sharing. So I do appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time to share a few photos with the good old Hutchinator here to keep people ahead of the storm. And again, I've been passing these along to the National Weather Service so folks get a chance to see what's coming their way. Bemidji, thunderstorm warning. The main threat is going to be large hail upwards of about 1 inch in diameter. Gusty winds could be 60 miles per hour. Look at this now. The latest from the Weather Service says 1 1/4 inch hail, so over 1 inch diameter hail. A look at the estimated speed of movement, still moving at about 30 miles per hour, so we're on the money there with our estimates of time. Moving through Bemidji right now, particularly the northern half of town and over the northern half of Lake Bemidji. It's going to be heading toward the eastern shores of Lake Bemidji, it looks like now. On the south side of town there, where you've got the good old hockey arena down there on the south side of town, you can probably watch this puppy as it's crossing over the lake as time is going by here. So I'm taking a look at more information and seeing if there's any more reports into the National Weather Service about this particular storm. And it does look like hail slightly larger than 1/4 5 minutes ago, northwest of Bemidji. That's right, northwest of Bemidji, just as this pink area was making its way toward the lake and the north side of Bemidji itself. So thanks so very much. That was, by the way, reported by the emergency manager out there in Beltrami County. So that's what we have going on with regards to these storms tonight. We do have another storm to the south of Bagley, so far remaining under severe criteria. That's not far from Alita out there in Minerva area, south of Bagley, and Shevlin, making its way toward that area near the boundary waters, right south of Wilton. So keep that in mind as we continue to monitor a few storms here. Many of the storms now heading out into the northwest part of the Duluth area here as we look toward the Iron Range. These storms will be heading out into the Cass Lake area shortly. From Bemidji, there's been a new warning issued there for this storm, producing the over 1 inch diameter hail. Nothing kaput going on here in the FM area, points south and east. There's still a chance here. I think for the most part, the chance has mainly exited out of parts of eastern North Dakota, with exception for, you can see this faint little line here. That's where we may have a chance at a thunderstorm popping up along that line. See, that's where this one is forming here in Clearwater County. Anywhere along this boundary, we could see a storm form up. A couple of models earlier said Otter Tail County, Becker County has a chance at seeing a few of those storms blossom. I'll watch them for you here on Hutch's Weather. Thank you for watching. Looking for your comments or questions here. It looks like we've got it covered. Thanks, Frank. It does look like there's a small chance of some storms that could form in your area tonight. So far, all of our southern counties have been protected by a bubble of hot air above the ground. That bubble of hot air, when a bubble of hot air from the ground rises up and hits that hot air bubble, it no longer wants to rise. So that really quells the development of thunderstorms. That's what's gone on tonight. And we're thankful for that in places like Becker County, the Fargo-Moorhead area, and Otter Tail County, because the energy in the atmosphere tonight, pretty robust, to say the least, and to put it mildly, with all of that sticky air you could wear that you felt across the region today. So I'm going to go ahead and pass along that the threat has moved out of the 10 strike area. It's moving out of Bemidji right now and heading into rural portions south and east of Bemidji. It is over Norway Park. It is over the southern part of town now, but the heaviest hail core is out here near Highway 406 and up north of town as you cross there to the Highway 12 corridor. That's where it looks like to Hutch, basically on the east edge of Lake Bemidji now and heading out towards Andrusia, if I'm pronouncing that right. So that's what we have going on in the Bemidji area right now. Hail being the #1 threat, over 1 inch in diameter. The largest hail just on the northern fringes of Bemidji and heading into the southeastern quadrant of Beltrami County. It could clip up to the north part here, north near Lake George into northern and eastern Hubbard County. But as we look up here toward Cass Lake, that's where it's headed. You can look at that white line. That's where the storm vector is and the motion that we expect that hail core to be traveling. So as we zoom in just to the south side and south shores of Lake Winnebagoshish out there and heading out towards the Bena area and Federal Dam, these areas hit very, very hard by storms a while ago as we look out in the Leech Lake area. So those areas is where those storms are heading. Thanks, Mike. I'm doing my most bestest here to try to pronounce a lot of names that I don't pronounce every day, the best that I can, but it's fun to get out and see some of these lakes and visit some of the beautiful country in Lakes Country in Minnesota. All right, if storms approach tonight, I'll be here keeping my eyes on things. Just keep an eye in the skies. If thunder rumbles your way, know that we have a watch in effect until midnight for all of the yellow counties you see here. A watch means all the ingredients are there to make some great chili. You got your beans, you got your burger or beef or pork or whatever you like to make with your chili. You got your tomato sauce and you got your spices all lined up. But don't make a good bowl of chili unless all those ingredients come together with that magical recipe to make a great bowl of chili. Hutch likes jalapenos in his as well. You're watching Hutch's Weather. I appreciate you all very much. Make sure you hit the follow button here on Facebook. Tell a friend Hutch is doing weather. And I'll be back with a very, 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 very exciting announcement that I have been waiting so long to share with you coming up in the very near future. But until then, and until more severe weather hits the area, seek shelter, stay away from windows, report severe weather. You can share with me your reports right here in the comments. I look there. I also look elsewhere for your reports to me. Thank you so much. Until next time, stay tuned.